Hello, my name is Zach from WorleyTutorials.com, and today we're going to be talking about the new document dialog box for Illustrator. So the very first thing you want to do is go up to the top, go to File, New, and you get this dialog here. There are some presets that are there for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to open a document for print, and then we're going to open another document for screen, and I'm going to show you the differences. So the very first thing is, of course, you can put the title of your document here. Let's just do print tut. And the profile, we can leave that as print, but of course you can click on that and change it to whatever you need to do. We'll change that whenever we go to screen. The very next thing you want to look at is size. By default, it does put it at letter size. If you want to change that from here, you can, but of course, if you have a specific size, such as a business card, so if you want to do 2.5 by 3 inches, then of course you can come in here and type that in. But if you notice, the PT is there, not IN. PT is points. Excuse me. What that basically, it's just a different kind of term. Technically, it's as big, same size as a pixel. So if you come over here to your units and you change this points to pixels, the number actually stays the same. It's simply just a difference in industry, that's all. The next thing, if you want to be more comfortable working in inches, then of course you can change it to inches here, and you'll see that it's 8.5 by 11 inches. The very next thing that you'll see is bleed. The bleed is kind of like your safe zone for where your text and where your background should be. You'll get what you need to put in here from the printer itself. So if you're working through like vistaprints.com or zazzle.com, or you have a local printer that you're printing with, then just give them a call, and it's kind of a common question that they get, and they will tell you either you need a 0.25 bleed or a 0.125, and this essentially just gives you a safe area for your document. I'm actually going to go ahead and leave this at 0.25. And advanced, the color mode is what's really important. When you're working in print, you want to make sure that your color mode is in CMYK. That's cyan, magenta, yellow, and key. If you have a printer and you've gone to purchase ink, then you've purchased all of these colors. You have to buy 4 different inks for your printer. And that is simply just, again, that's kind of an industry choice that they use those colors. And screen, if you're working on a computer screen, a TV screen, a mobile device screen, any screen at all, it's going to be RGB. You're going to change it to red, green, blue. And then, of course, you have right below here your raster effects. We talked about raster versus vector in the video before, but this is for effects such as drop shadows. As soon as you add a drop shadow to a vector image, it will be a raster effect, which means it will pixelate. So you want to make sure that, again, this is in print, so you want to make sure that you have it at 300 ppi, which is 300 pixels per inch. When it translates to the printer, it will translate as 300 dpi, dots per inch. So CMYK 300, our document size is letter, so 8.5 by 11. Our bleed is 0.25. We are good to go. We're going to open up this document. And as you can see, this red line here, that is your bleed. So if you were to, and I'll show you guys how to do all these shapes and stuff here in a little bit, but let's say you wanted to add a background here, okay? So we're going to add the background to our document. We're going to come all the way out to the bleed, and inside the black line, that is where we're going to put any text or anything like that. So when we send to a printer, they know that to cut the most 0.25 inches into the actual size of the image. So that's print. Let's go up to File, New, and now let's work in screen. So we're just going to go down to Video and Film. And of course, everything changes. It changes to pixels because that, again, that's kind of the industry standard for your screens, because they work in pixels, not points. And right here at size, you can change this to whatever size you are working in. So if you know for sure that the size that you're going for instance, you know that YouTube, the highest resolution is either going to be 720 or 1080. So of course you can come down here and go to HDV 1080, and it'll automatically put in the width for you, which is 1920 by 1080. Bleed, you absolutely don't have to worry about. Advanced, it automatically puts it in color, the correct color mode and the correct raster effects. When you're working with print, you have a high resolution of 300 ppi. But of course, when you're in screen, you don't need to really worry about a PPI, so you have 72. I'm not really sure why they chose 72. I don't know why that's like the number, but it does bring down the size of your image, the size of your the actual file itself. Excuse me. Transparency grid, I'll show you what that means here in a second, but light, medium, dark, red, green, orange, blah, 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 or off. It basically is showing you where the see-through parts are going to be. So on a TV screen, there's obviously nothing behind it. It's kind of like a whole bunch of PNGs all over the place. So I'm just going to leave this at medium, and of course, we're going to hit OK. And you'll notice that the screen looks much, much different. This black line here, that is your actual document. These lines here are there to help you. They're kind of a grid for you to actually know where the title safe areas are. And if you don't know what title safe areas are, that's okay. We're going to be talking about that in later tutorials with After Effects. But essentially, very quickly, if you make a square or anything like that, consider these lines as your bleed, okay? So your titles, any text you have, you want to make sure that they stay within this document size, this inside square. The outside square, that's your entire screen. Inside square, that's where it possibly could get cut off depending on the different sizes of TVs and screens. So that is the basics of the new document dialog box.